How many times have you made the drive from Vegas to LA? Maybe you've got plans to do so on Labor Day. I'd imagine you try to limit yourself to as few stops as possible, but what if you slow down instead and embrace the journey a little more? Well, today on CityCast Las Vegas, we're going to help you do just that by revisiting a conversation our CityCast team had to unearth all the things we're stopping for along the 15 on your way to Southern California. It's Wednesday, August 19th. I'm Jesse Merrick, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about.
Fellas, well, hi.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, I'm just going to start with some of the questions that I have while I'm driving Las Vegas to LA, okay? And
Things
maybe you can solve some mysteries.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything to do at Prim/State Line?
Well, I think the big decision that almost every driver from Las Vegas makes when they reach Prim is where to go to the bathroom.
Okay, so when you pass Prim, you can start to see that huge, it's so big it's not a solar field, it's a solar farm. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It looks straight from Star Wars.
Yeah, it's so bright, like it leaves spots in your eyes. And then you go through the gateway into California where they just wave you through. I don't know what's going on.
The agriculture check. Okay, so you missed one hot spot before you get to the solar panels. And that's the little convenience store, gas station, whatever, right on the border that sells lottery tickets.
I've never even noticed that one.
Oh, yeah. So it's technically in Prim, but across the state line.
Yes.
So you're in California just enough to be able to sell lotto tickets. And this thing gets long lines whenever there's a big jackpot.
When there's a big jackpot, yeah.
Oh, for in California. So the Nevadans can drive out there, gamble a new way.
Because there's not enough here.
That's where the closest spot for you to pick up one of those mega lotto tickets would be.
Great.
Is right outside of Prim.
I've peed. I've seen the Bonnie and Clyde death car. I have a fistful of lotto tickets. I don't have any agricultural products, so I'm zooming through.
Yeah, they used to stop you and ask you, but that seems to have gone away a long time ago.
I did see them stop a box truck once, but they're not even looking in my car. It doesn't seem like anybody has noticed. Okay, I did go on a road trip once to the Kelso Dunes with two science nerds, and so they got really curious about the solar farm and looked it up. We found some pretty horrifying facts.
Is it going to be about bird deaths?
Oh, my God.
It's always about bird deaths.
It's so many bird deaths, David. I mean, but the bird deaths are one symptom. It's called the Ivanpah Solar Power Facility. It is the world's largest solar thermal power plant. Nothing will ever be built like it again because it cost $2.2 billion to make, and it is really impractical and doesn't work that well. That's a very general statement, but I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. But here are the two things I will say about it. One is that it uses an insane amount of natural gas to start up in the morning, a lot, despite the fact that it's solar powered.
So it defeats the whole purpose.
It defeats the whole purpose. The other issue of it is that there are bird strikes on a lot of solar fields because they look like water. But this one is double trouble because the refracted light is so hot that if birds fly into the air around it, they catch on fire.
The Dara death
ray.
ray.
Well, the way it works is fascinating because there's a circle that all reflects towards the center, and there's a tower at the center that collects all of the sun that's being redirected towards it. So if you're a bird that's anywhere near that tower, it's bad news.
I'm just going to say it kills between 3,500 and 28,000 birds a year. The statistics are a little maybe they're being skewed. So yeah, speaking of follies, have you ever been to that sculpture garden next to Eddie World? What's going on there?
Well, I think this is as political as your road trip between Vegas and LA is going to get, because that sculpture garden, I think it's officially called the Liberty Sculpture Park.
Okay.
And it was built by this artist, this Chinese dissident who wanted to criticize everything that was going on back home in China. You have little art installations, like a recreation of the famous scene of a student standing up to a tank in Tiananmen Square.
Yes.
There's a version of China's president with his skull replaced with a COVID protein spike for hair. So obviously there's a lot of political statements. And I think that last one I mentioned was actually burned down in a case that was considered arson, I think in 2021. So there's a A little bit of political unrest on the road to Los Angeles from Las Vegas.
Now I'm a little bit more intrigued.
Yeah, well, after you get your ice cream at Eddie World, just walk across the street and check it out.
No, I'm a banana chip girl, veggie chip.
They make sushi there too, on the spot, supposedly.
I've stopped for a terrible coffee before, and I just stick with the gummy worms. Thank you very much. What's on Zizek's Road?
Oh, my God.
A mystery.
So recently I was, scrolling on the old telephone, and I came across one of my favorite clip sources, which is dropout.tv. They have this one program called Smarty Pants where comedians make presentations to other comedians about stuff that they've researched or learned. And there was a comedian writer whose name is Carolyn Page. And Carolyn Page decided, because she does travel down I-15 a bunch, that she would look into the history of Zizek's Road. Now, Zizek's has been there as long as I've been traveling to California and before. It goes back quite a ways.
And for those of you screaming right now, it's Zizek's. You know what? Nobody knows.
Zizek's like Isaac's.
Zizek's like Isaac's, but you might have listened to our Sound Like a Las Vegan episode in which the Las Vegans couldn't decide. So how to sound like a Las Vegan? Say whatever you want. Nobody knows.
Well, if it's a made-up road in a made-up town, does it really matter?
Yeah, there you go. That was beautiful, Rob.
So the area goes back to 1944, and a lot of what I learned comes from Carolyn Page's presentation, and I hope we could put that in the show notes because it's very amusing. But essentially, Zizek's was a resort town made by one of the biggest scamsters in American history. So this is wild. Is a guy named Curtis Howe Springer. And in the 1920s, he was sort of part of that big scene of snake oil salesmen and
was he
preachers.
Like a Kellogg? Was this like
he was around the William Jennings Bryan crowd and the revival tent stuff and all that stuff that was really popular in the 1920s. When psychology sort of becomes a big trend or whatever, he starts presenting himself doing these lectures as a MD or a PhD in psychology. He wasn't any of those things.
Oops.
And then he would sell therapy sessions, psychotherapy sessions, this new hot thing, and collect the money in advance and then skip town, just go from town to town. It was like a real scam artist. He tried to get on the radio selling health remedies and health foods and things of that nature. And then they found out he wasn't a doctor, so he kind of got canceled. So he comes out all the way west. He claims over 12,000 acres of desert lands surrounding a spring in the desert, and he dubs it Zizek's because he called it, quote unquote, the last word in medical remedies.
Well, you're not really going to beat it as far as the last word in the dictionary or any
exactly.
It was just encyclopedia, right?
It was a marketing thing. It was just a marketing thing for him.
So what happened there?
Oh, my God. He goes to Skid Row in L.A. He essentially kidnaps a bunch of guys who are just sort of living on the streets. He brings them all the way to the middle of the desert. He says, I need you to build this resort. I will give you food and board, and that's it. So he's essentially exploiting
Holding
this
them
labor.
Hostage. Yeah.
Yes. And then he started his own radio program, and it was broadcast on hundreds of radio stations around the country. And he was just selling these huckster remedies for cancer, for hair loss, for hemorrhoids. And it was always celery juice or
and was it
talcum
a resort?
powder.
Was it a destination or did he just live there?
Eventually, he made it sort of a destination, and then the federal government found out, and then they determined he didn't even have a legitimate mining claim because he wasn't doing any sort of mining.
Mm-hmm.
And then they essentially evicted him and arrested him. He did a couple of months in jail. And then when the gig was up in the 1960s, he just sort of moved to Las Vegas, where he lived a long, somewhat anonymous, and apparently very lucrative life until he died at the age of 90 in the 1980s.
I think this guy would have been a YouTuber if he was around today.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, my God. He had such a following, and he made all these false claims. Anyway, the good news of the whole story is that once the feds kind of come in and take it over, they cede this area to the California State University system, where they founded the Desert Studies Center, which is a place where they research the environment and have all these like endangered species. And speaking of birds, hundreds of species of birds live there.
How cool.
And they do all this research.
And they basically built it out of this old abandoned resort and spa.
Huh.
Exactly.
Is it open to the public? Can you go?
So here's the thing. It doesn't look like it's like full open to the public. There is a little lake area around there, and I don't know how to say it, Tuendae, Tuendae. It is an interpretive trail. It is operated by the Mojave National Preserve. That's the only part that's open to public. They do have classes and seminars and things like that, but they used to have like old spas and hot springs and things like that, some of which were real, some of which he faked. But, you know, my favorite thing about Zzyzx is always that sign. The sign is always shot up and filled with stickers.
Although they replaced it.
Yeah,
I'm sure they replace
recently.
it all the time. They have to replace that thing constantly.
But it used to be you'd pull over and put your sticker on the sign and continue right after
So
getting
look
your
for that
photo.
CityCast sticker next time you're driving
Yeah, I
through.
was going to say, it's time for you to stop and sticker it and also shoot at it with the gun you got at the coffee shop in Pahrump on your way. So.
All right, so that's all I got to say about Zzyzx.
Speaking of stops off the road.
Zzyzx.
I think we just did a whole bonus podcast on Zzyzx.
Yeah, seriously, we have to find an expert.
Mostly ripped off from Carolyn Page. Thank you.
Let's get her on. Come on, Carolyn.
The following is a paid political advertisement paid for by the committee to elect Alex Quagg.
Hi, CityCast listeners. I'm Alex Quagg, and I'm running for Clark County District Court Judge, Department 29. Southern Nevada is my home. I graduated from El Dorado High School and UNLV. From my first job to now raising my family, this community has shaped who I am. That's why public service is personal to me. I've spent my career serving on all sides of our justice system, representing service members in the Army, working as a prosecutor, and seeing how courtroom decisions ripple through people's lives and through our community. That's a responsibility I never take lightly. Clark County deserves judges who bring experience, dignity, and respect to every person who enters the courtroom. I'm proud to have earned the support of prosecutors, defense attorneys, law enforcement, labor unions, veterans organizations, and many others across our community. From JAG to judge, I'd be honored to earn your vote. I'm Alex Quagg, running for Clark County District Court, Department 29. Learn more at electalexquagg.com.
Paid for by the committee to elect Alex Quagg. CityCast does not endorse candidates for office.
Coming home from a hospital stay or surgery is supposed to feel like relief, but the first few weeks alone can be scary. A little extra help at home can make all the difference in a smooth recovery. That's where Touching Hearts at Home comes in. Touching Hearts at Home is a locally owned home care agency right here in the Las Vegas Valley. For them, care is both a promise and a practice, with caregivers who are trained, background checked, and thoughtfully matched to each family. Caregivers help with daily things like bathing, meals, light housekeeping, transportation, and companionship. Touching Hearts at Home offers flexible scheduling from a few hours a week to full-time support serving seniors, people living with medical conditions or disabilities, those in transition from hospital to home, and anyone over the age of 18 who can benefit from the help of a professional caregiver. Give them a call at 702-514-0908. That's 702-514-0908, or visit their website at touchinghearts.com/Henderson to set up a free consultation, and they'll walk you through what support could look like for your family. Mention CityCast for 15% off your first month of service.
Is Calico Ghost Town worth going to?
You know, I think Calico is a bad ghost town, but a great roadside attraction. That's how I'd sum it up.
All right.
You know what? That's fair, Rob. It was another one that got me as a kid with the signs. Can we pull over, Dad? Can we go? Can we go?
Yeah,
Can we go?
good signage.
And after the first 100 rejections, there was one day when we didn't ask, because that was my dad's MO, he just pulled off to Calico. Yeah, it's a wonky amusement park-esque. It's very bad as a ghost town.
What is there?
Well, it's hard to tell what's authentic and what isn't, because
True.
as every ghost town in this area started out as, it was part of a mining boom, the silver rush back in the 19th century. And then eventually people left. And then at some point, the same people that own Knott's Berry Farm bought the property and turned it into this attraction. So some stuff was there from when it was originally around, and some of it has been added. Like, I think the schoolhouse is authentic, but then you've got these shops and a few other things.
The Mystery Shack.
Oh, it's got one of those.
A little more dubious.
Millie's Mine. And everything's like $4 a la carte.
Yeah. But there's a train. You can ride a train around.
It was so disappointing. When Dad finally pulled over, it was almost like it was an I told you so on his part.
Yeah.
I think the secret is you go at night when they're doing one of their ghost tours. And I don't know if there's as many ghosts there as there is in the Bonnie and Clyde car, but you might have a good time.
Or in Prim at large.
I still think that the outlet mall is going to win for actual ghosts, which, by the way, are not real.
Let's talk Barstow.
Well, I think the most famous thing in Barstow is Barstow Station.
Right, the McDonald's Plus.
I hate it. I hate it in there.
You don't want to eat McDonald's in an old train car?
No.
It's like an anachronism. It's like modern tech and my old stop on all school trips to LA. We would always stop there. The bus would stop.
There's always multiple bus tours.
Well, it's almost like a flea market and food court in one.
So
Would you
crowded.
describe it that way?
Yes. And it's good.
Where are better places to pee in Barstow that don't have 5 bus tours pulling up?
You know, I think if you're going to do Barstow right, you really have to go take a leak at the oldest operating Del Taco in the United States.
Nice.
Now, we're talking to my culinary historian, Hart. Okay, tell me about the world's oldest Del Taco. Was it founded in Barstow, or is this just like the oldest remaining one?
It's the oldest remaining one, and there's really absolutely nothing of note about it. It has been kept up over the years. It looks pretty much just like any other Del Taco, including another one just down the street. So you'll probably get confused by these 2 different Del Tacos. But all roads lead back to Yermo, home of Calico and home of Eddie World, where if you look for a place that's off to the side of the road called Tita's Burger Den, that's actually the site of the actual OG original Del Taco.
Wow, in Yermo.
In Yermo. So it opened in 1964. The tacos were 19 cents. It was a huge hit, but as with all things, it doesn't last forever. Things move on. But if you go there today, it's called Tita's Burger Den, has nothing to do with Del Taco, but it's a great little spot. Like if you just go there, like the menu is like written in marker on a piece of paper that's next to the window. I believe there's a drive-through, but there's picnic tables and you can just kind of get weird stuff like
Sounds
wings
decent.
or burgers or tacos. And it's very charming and it's very friendly.
Plus, they have a legit outlet mall there. That's the one that my mom used to. Yeah, she used to make plans with her little old lady friends. And God bless them, one of them would still have their license. They would just drive out to the outlet mall for the day. And that's how they spent the day. And they loved it. It was just basically a turnaround trip. I mean, the Barstow Outlet Mall is considered to be kind of top tier as far as that sort of middle of nowhere outlet mall niche goes.
The ones in Vegas are better?
I think so.
Okay, Rob, I actually have a question specifically for you. The abandoned water park on I-15 going to LA, what's going on there?
So one of the coolest things you see when you're driving down Interstate 15 is if you look off to the side of the road, you'll see, an old creepy abandoned water park. Why is this thing in the middle of the desert to begin with? And it used to be known as Lake Dolores.
Yeah.
Dates back to 1962. And the reason it's there is because there's springs underground that lent itself well to becoming a water park. And it had a few different names over the years. At one point it was called Rockahula. At one point it was Discovery Water Park. But it closed for good in 2004.
Wow.
And somebody wants to revive it. I believe the plans were filed in 2018. The plans were approved by San Bernardino County in March of 2020. And I think we all associate March of 2020 with something special, the pandemic. So obviously, we have yet to see this come to fruition. But according to the plans, Lake Dolores Water Park will come back in 5 phases. One of them is an RV park, which I think is something that could possibly work there.
It sounds smart. Make it a destination, really. You can stay overnight.
It'll have a glorified gift shop. The water park will come back. You'll have your pools, and you'll have a few other things there, too. There'll be some offices there. But it could be interesting to see if it's a destination. Fun fact, an very early version of the Electric Daisy Carnival was actually held at that water park. Very few people know about that. I only found about it when I was researching the history of EDC, and there's a little bit of scattered information about it, but it actually happened.
Huh.
Yeah. It was a spot that my dad never would stop at.
No,
he's like, we have Wet and Wild at home, because it would have been the mid-'80s.
Now, not that I would recommend people do this, but it's most famous for now people pull off to the side of the road. The last time I was there was a little kind of hole in the fence around it, and people go in and do their urban exploration. They take really cool photos.
Yeah.
It's a total post-apocalyptic feel, and if you're into that, Lake Dolores is your jam. Although legally, I'm not going to recommend you go on abandoned property.
In fact, it should be renamed Tetanusville.
If you keep the post-nuclear theme, it could become an attraction.
Yeah, there's a lot of pointy things, a lot of pointy, rusty things there.
The following is a paid political advertisement paid for by the committee to elect Alex Quag.
Hi, CityCast listeners. I'm Alex Quag, and I'm running for Clark County District Court Judge, Department 29. Southern Nevada is my home. I graduated from El Dorado High School and UNLV. From my first job to now raising my family, this community has shaped who I am. That's why public service is personal to me. I've spent my career serving on all sides of our justice system, representing service members in the Army, working as a prosecutor, and seeing how courtroom decisions ripple through people's lives and through our community. That's a responsibility I never take lightly. Clark County deserves judges who bring experience, dignity, and respect to every person who enters the courtroom. I'm proud to have earned their support of prosecutors, defense attorneys, law enforcement, labor unions, veterans organizations, and many others across our community. From JAG to judge, I'd be honored to earn your vote. I'm Alex Quag, running for Clark County District Court, Department 29. Learn more at electalexquag.com.
Paid for by the committee to elect Alex Quag. CityCast does not endorse candidates for office.
Coming home from a hospital stay or surgery is supposed to feel like relief, but the first few weeks alone can be scary. A little extra help at home can make all the difference in a smooth recovery. That's where Touching Hearts at Home comes in. Touching Hearts at Home is a locally owned home care agency right here in the Las Vegas Valley. For them, care is both a promise and a practice, with caregivers who are trained, background checked, and thoughtfully matched to each family. Caregivers help with daily things like bathing, meals, light housekeeping, transportation, and companionship. Touching Hearts at Home offers flexible scheduling from a few hours a week to full-time support serving seniors, people living with medical conditions or disabilities, those in transition from hospital to home, and anyone over the age of 18 who can benefit from the help of a professional caregiver. Give them a call at 702-514-0908. That's 702-514-0908. Or visit their website at touchinghearts.com/Henderson to set up a free consultation, and they'll walk you through what support could look like for your family. Mention CityCast for 15% off your first month of service.
Okay, we're recommending a lot of semi-legal things, I feel like. And also there's a lot of confusion about what is open and is not, which is often very hard to tell on this drive. So, you know that place in Baker that has like a really good-looking burger sign?
Oh, we're going back a little bit. We're going back.
We're driving up and down this highway.
We're up and down. We're up and down. I want a burger.
We got turned back because the traffic was too much because we made the mistake of driving to LA on Sunday.
Well, yes. I forgot my wallet at the world's tallest thermometer, so we had to turn around.
But we can't get a burger. That place in Baker is closed, right?
But Mad Greek's still open.
Mad Greek is open and the BP is open. And Alien Jerky?
Alien Fresh Jerky is the official name of this place.
Never goes away.
Is it made from Alien?
Yes. And what's most fascinating about that place is they've built a giant flying saucer behind it, which is supposed to be a hotel. It's something that's been in the works for a very long time. They finally built the exterior, and if nothing else, it's a great photo spot. But whether they actually turn this into an actual destination where people are going to want to spend the night in Baker and nosh on jerky, that remains to be seen.
Okay, on the return trip, on the right, you always see that big banner for date shakes. It's like on the side of a trailer. But then I look really hard and I don't see anywhere that seems to be selling date shakes. Where are the shakes?
If I'm going to have a date shake, I'm going to go to the China Ranch Date Farm in Tacoma, which is a little north of Baker, but probably 2 out of the way while on a road trip between Vegas and LA.
Yeah, that's the thing, Sarah. There's plenty of good road trips off the I-15, but it depends on how far off the path you want to go. And if you just want to get to Southern California in that, 4.5-hour window.
So what are some of the real secrets and hacks about this drive that's going to make this trip amazing for me?
Well, download your podcast ahead of time because you're going to lose reception. Yeah,
I automatically download CityCast to catch up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And also have enough road snacks. Because, you're going to be paying premiums at the convenience stores along the way, which are all too happy to offer you up the lower caliber jerky.
Oh, my God. Once driving to Palm Springs, I spent $15 for a bag of M&Ms. It wasn't even the big bag. It was just the medium big bag.
Surge pricing.
Well, we talk a lot about signs that you see on the side of the road, and you're going to see a lot of signs for a place called Peggy Sue's 50s Diner.
Yes.
So, again, Yermo. But what I kind of like about that place is they have all these different rooms inside, and each one kind of has a different theme to it. And if you go all the way into the back, there's like this vintage pizza parlor back there. And what makes it even more weird is if you go out to the backyard, there's this whole yard of statues of dinosaurs, which is just weird and has nothing to do with the 1950s. But if you go back inside, there's a pizza parlor, and I like just ordering a pizza to go. Because there's nothing quite like eating a pizza while driving and just trying to pull that greasy slice out of a cardboard box.
Here's one tip. So you see a lot of Indian food places along this drive. That's because there's a growing number of Punjabi Sikh truck drivers that are driving that route back and forth. So these Punjabi rest stops are called dabas, and they have just incredible vegetarian Indian food because they're serving their own community in these spaces. I remember I stopped at a gas station once. I wish I remember where, and there was an Indian food restaurant there, and I was like, I bet that's delicious, but I felt intimidated. So Sonia says go. She especially recommends one just outside of Victorville. If you get stuck in traffic coming out of LA and you gotta pee at Flavors of India and then eat some amazing Indian food. Okay, 7 Magic Mountains. On that return trip, you sort of come around the curve and there it is. It's this shining beacon that says, I'm going to be home in 40 minutes or less. And it feels really good.
And there's a roadside over there, too, in Good Springs.
Yeah.
At the Pioneer.
Yes.
We've talked about that. Yeah.
What I liked about 7 Magic Mountains is it always looked like a hallucination out in the middle of the desert. You're kind of like, am I really seeing this?
I also was curious about, they could not necessarily charge people to go there, but they're not even selling merch.
Yeah, I think the LVCVA should sponsor 7 Magic Mountains just like they did with the Aces.
Yes.
Okay, so the Bright Line, in theory, is going to be built, a high-speed train connecting Las Vegas and LA. And in theory, it could make this route obsolete. So my question is, if that happens and we're no longer driving this route because we're just zipping back and forth on the high-speed train, what will you miss the most?
I mean, the thermometer. I love seeing the thermometer. Why is it there? What purpose does it serve? We all know what the temperature is if we look on our phone or even in our car. And yet there it is, a testament to a simpler time when we needed giant thermometers to tell us exactly how hot it was in the middle of the Mojave.
Well, what I love about Baker is that is a town that is built for road trippers. The main street goes alongside Interstate 15. So you hop off at one exit, you go take a whiz wherever you're going to go.
Keep going.
Get some Mad Greek, charge your Tesla,
fast food.
And then you get back on. And you don't have to go out and come back in. You're literally going side by side with Interstate 15. It's a perfect roadside destination town.
It's like a pit stop, literally, if it's on a track.
Yes. But to get back to Sarah's question, what I'm going to truly miss the most if I can't do this road trip anymore is Eddie World and the video games that you play at the urinal, where you can aim with your urine stream.
Stop it.
And it affects what you see on the video screen ahead of you.
Are you making this up?
No,
I am
he's
not. But to be completely fair, the last time I was there, most of them were broken, if not all of them.
I have never had my urine gamified. I can't tell if this is a conspiracy.
No, Rob speaks the truth.
And you know what? If Brightline wants my loyalty, they should have some video games that you control with a urine stream in first class of the Brightline train.
Or in coach.
You pay more to get away from that stuff?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I wish the listeners could see my face right now. I am bamboozled. I'm shocked. I don't know if I'm jealous or horrified. This is what you're doing in there?
Oh, yeah. You know what I really do miss is when you'd come home and you used to see the Luxor beam before you saw anything else. I know it's a publicly traded company. MGM Resorts doesn't want to spend that much on that electric bill like they used to, but that's something I miss.
Is that a scandal that they have been dimming the light to save dough?
I'm going to say yes with 75% confidence.
Y'all, I'm pulling this car over. This is enough.
Has the road trip ended?
You guys
We're
stop
back
fighting
home?
back there. I'm
We're
pulling this
talking
car
Vegas
over.
again?
I'm going to turn this car around. Now, that's something my dad said a lot.
We're back home in Vegas, and honestly, I think I'm just going to stick to the route I went on before. But if I decide to go rummaging around at Tetanus Park or to have some burgers at Tito's, I will let you know. This has been one of the wildest conversations we've ever had. Gents, thank you. You're way more experienced in this than me. I did learn a lot, so I appreciate your knowledge.
I feel like we filled up the tank with knowledge.
I loved it.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our free morning newsletter as well. And hey, don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm/Las Vegas. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Until then, though, take care.